This is the greatest podcast in the universe, most likely. And we've got a solemn face Jackson and Greaves, Biscuits and Gravy phone going off. We're talking about Mexico, baby. Let's get some chipperness here. You love Mexico, right?
I love Mexico. Viva Mexico.
What makes you love Mexico?
The weather, the food, the culture,
Yeah.
the kind people, the um, the rich ancient history.
Yeah.
They have a lot of caves, and a lot of caves. Spelunking. I've been known to spelunk. Um,
Really?
they have a wide array of species of animals. I've always been a friend to the animals.
Hmm.
All of them. And just Mexico is a really big breeding ground for most of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but
No.
many species.
Yeah. What's your favorite Mexican dish? Oh, before you answer, by the way, everyone, today we are talking
Yeah,
the 6 best places to go in Mexico. So we're going to go over a few not to go to, some outliers, but today we're talking about best places to go in Mexico, where your next vacation should be, 6 incredible options. But first, Jackson tells us his favorite Mexican dish.
either between enchiladas or burrito tacos with
Really?
consomme.
I've never liked burrito tacos.
Well, well,
People love them. I just don't.
it's a good reason.
I
Using and cilantro with lots of cilantro.
Yeah, fuck cilantro.
Lots of the cilantro. I'm a big cilantro guy.
That's what really grinds my gears. The street tacos. All it is meat, cilantro, and onions. And I don't like cilantro, and I don't like onions. So it's like, but somehow they're still actually quite tasty. Their cilantro is not as pungent. I like when they use parsley. But all
Big fan
right.
of parsley.
Well, I'm gonna go through a list of places in Mexico. Unless you have any other tidbits you'd like to share about Mexico aside from the species of animals. What's your
My,
favorite animal?
my favorite animal?
Yeah,
Ooh, the elephant or the
interesting.
humpback whale.
Okay.
Yeah, either one of those.
Why the humpback whale?
Just the depths they can go to and the knowledge I believe they have. It's, I believe they're more advanced than, socially
Hmm.
and, some would say even morally than humans. So,
Yeah, morally. Is that just specific to the humpback whale or all whales?
I mean, I'm a big whale guy, I would say.
Yeah,
I love all the whales, all shapes and sizes.
that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say some places not to go in Mexico, only
Oh,
because a big thing about Mexico, I think you nailed it right out the jump. Amazing places about Mexico is the culture, the proximity is nice. Like, so if you're going on vacation, it is cheap to go to Mexico. If you're in Canada, if you're in the United States, I love Costa Rica, I love Peru, but it's more expensive, takes a longer time to get there. So if you're just looking for a cheap, quick vacation, you go to Mexico. Obviously, I would say go to Costa Rica, maybe Belize first, or Colombia or Peru. But if you just got a weekend, this is great, and we've got some great spots for you. Um, but Mexico's changed. 15 years ago is like night and day. There's some places like people would love Cozumel or Isla Mujeres, and now it's just people on top of people. I remember I was at Isla Mujeres a couple years ago, and like their main nice beach was just a billion people. It's gotten so overcrowded. So this podcast, we're gonna go to some more secret spots. Not true secrets, but not Cancun, if you will. We'll kind of breeze through the Cancuns of the world. Um, but yeah, did you have anything to say before I started going through a bit of a list? So I say don't go to Cozumel, don't go to Isla Mujeres. Yeah,
I
like
got
North Beach.
I got five. Uh,
Okay.
the states are Colima, Michoacan, Michoacan, probably,
Mihokan. Yeah.
yeah,
To not
Sonora,
go to?
yeah, not go to.
Well,
Uh,
I'm sure they're not going to go to Sinaloa.
yeah, I would hope not.
Although I
And
think
uh,
Guadalajara is there. And,
Tamaulipas,
hmm.
Tamaulipas, Tamaulipas,
All right. Well, these
and
aren't
uh,
vacation destinations people are going to, Jackson. Also, shout out Propel. Propel doesn't get enough love. It was really fallen off 10 years ago, but I think I want it to make a comeback.
yeah, well, I'm just letting you know the reason I'm saying is because the U.S. is warning people not to travel there.
Well,
U.S.
yeah,
in
people
particular.
don't go to those places. They're not going
Well,
to.
obviously, if the U.S. is telling people not to, maybe they do. Maybe they do, Frazier. They're just
I
saying it
still don't
for
think
a
so.
reason.
All right. So, my least favorite main destination place in Mexico, and I'm sorry, I know you like it here, is Cabo San Lucas.
I've heard great things. Heard great.
All you can do, you can't swim in like 2/3 of the beaches because it's riptide. The sand is shit. It's like rocky, not good. It's basically Las Vegas on the beach that you can't even go to. I guess it's not truly Las Vegas, but it's just so Americanized. It's a strip of bars and nightclubs. If you want a spring break and you're young, go there. But aside from that, I've just never been a fan. You can take some boat trips and you can fish, but you can do that anywhere. I mean, there's the Arch, but it's not that cool. I'd rather see a billion other things than the
Yeah,
Arch in Cabo.
Houston is pretty good. And like you
But
said,
it's
it's kind of like Vegas, and some people really like Vegas.
Yeah, but I just think you can find so much more than what you get out of Cabo. It's just good for partying. There is good surfing. If you get out of town, if you go up north or you go the other way south, and wrap around west. So if you like to surf, that's some good spots. But just the city itself, I've never been a fan. Like I said, and it's also arguably the most expensive place in Mexico. So just not a fan. There's also no adventures. You can go obviously on the water, but you can do that. You can do the water, the fish stuff anywhere in Mexico. It's too big on large resorts versus just nice embracing like the Mexican culture, all inclusive. One, I always tell people never go all inclusive, which I think you would agree because you're a big foodie. If you go all inclusive, you don't get to see any of the gorgeous area that you're in because you're just staying at the pool. You feel bad going out to eat because you've got free food of your all inclusive inside, and the food in all inclusives, I've stayed at the nicest ones, is all terrible compared to what you'd get in town or authentic. So I say never go to an all inclusive. Always stay at a hotel somewhere ish close to town so you can meander, try some restaurants,
No, I'm going to
bars.
be devil's advocate here.
Go ahead. That's why you're
I
here.
love a good all inclusive, especially one that comes highly recommended, by personal friends or family. Uh, I'm not going to go out on a whim there because I honestly haven't been to any myself down there. But the Cabo, I would say all inclusively. I mean, if you're getting too drunk during the day, it's nice to have that wristband to just kind of guide you around and not have to worry about your wallet. I appreciate the kind of the comfort of an all inclusive. As long as you're within the resort, you're in safe hands, and that's kind of I would say a pro to the all inclusive that I have personally enjoyed at other places. You know.
Yeah, but I don't. Who wants to just hang around a resort? You can go to a resort in Phoenix or San Diego. I mean, you don't see anything. You don't feel the culture, feel the experience.
I don't know. I've had some great experiences at some resorts, especially the ones that really take the time to go for the customer experience. They aren't just the ad. They really
Hmm.
they follow through with the customer service.
Yeah.
You can taste it, the food, the drinks. It's how the people, also the actual people, treat the staff at the resort. You can tell a happy staff. When you see it, and it's yeah, it matters. It matters.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess some people do just want an all inclusive and to get out and lay by the pool and the beach and good on them. But I'm telling you, go dive into the culture, dive into different restaurants, dive into other stuff, not some watered down awful liquor that you get with your all inclusive and
I
get
hear you.
locked out of the pool.
I hear you, but I had
Yeah.
to tell you, Fraser, there are pros. There
Yeah,
are.
no, you're right. Another on the list is Puerto Vallarta, which again is just kind of there's a lot of places that are just replicated. So Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, Cancun. I like Puerto Vallarta next and Cancun beyond that, but they're all kind of similar. It's you're not really getting a ton of culture. You're definitely not in Cabo. At least Puerto Vallarta, there's a lot more fun stuff to do. There's hikes. It's very affordable compared. Well, I guess not very affordable, but it is. Everything you can do. There's tons of the bars. All the stuff you can do in Cabo, you can do in Puerto Vallarta, except all the beaches you can go to. You can go up north to one of my favorite spots, which we're saving for a little bit. Um, yeah, so cheap flights. It's 2.5 hours from Phoenix. I think from LA, it's very quick, direct flights, and you land in the airport, and boom, you're right in town. So I love that. But again, it's kind of very resorty, very Americanized. So those are kind of the cons. But the location is incredible. Although, with that said, the beaches are a little bit rockier,
I was
which
gonna
is
say, well, yeah. Out of all the beaches you've been to in Mexico, what is the top? Let's just set the bar.
it's a tough one. Uh, so when there's no seaweed or the sargassum, which is
I
always through,
love a clean beach. I love
yeah.
it. A big factor for me.
So, like over the last few years, an epidemic has come through of just seaweed and sargassum in Tulum. That's
Mm.
just been flooding it. So, when there's not, that's not there. I love the Tulum beach, but it's not that big and wide. Cancun oddly has like really incredible beaches. I just that's next on the list, but again, it's kind of whole box. Well, I'll kind of get to some ones I like more. I've also always wanted to go to Oaxaca, which is Puerto Escondido and some small towns around there. There's another Huatulco, which I'm pronouncing terrible. I've always wanted to go there. I would say just find these places that aren't Americanized. Like I just the Cancun, the Cabo, the Puerto Vallarta. You're basically in the U.S. but on the beach, which is fine. But the places we're going to discuss is I like because it's a little bit different, like that Huatulco, Puerto Escondido. It's a little bit more authentic. It's like what Tulum was 20 years ago, which we'll kind of get to Tulum too. But yeah, Cancun is one of the better beaches, but it's just kind of Americanized. I will say you can find a lot of stuff to do there. You can go to the caves, like you said, the cenotes. There's a lot of ruins, so that's why Cancun goes higher for me than Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, you do.
I do.
The water is incredible. I love the water way more than Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta is on the Pacific side, so the water's not great, especially in town. You can get out of town and find some better water and beaches, but the beaches and the sand are much better on the other side, the Caribbean side. So there's incredible entertainment. Again, it's kind of like a little Vegasy on the beach, which is fine. But at least Cancun, you can do all the stuff you can do in Cabo. Plus, you can go to some islands. You can go to,
Beach.
huh?
Is there a night scene towards the shore?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
There's great partying in Cancun. Um,
oh, Cancun's fantastic.
yeah. So I
I
love
was thinking
Cancun for
of
that.
Tulum, though. Tulum. What's the part night scene like in Tulum?
Yeah, Tulum. That's next. Actually, sorry, before we even get there, there's Playa del Carmen. So Playa del Carmen, there's Cancun. An hour south is Playa del Carmen. An hour south of that is Tulum. And then an hour south of that is kind of a new spot that people should visit. But we'll do Playa del Carmen next. It's next on the list. So it's like a third, if you will, a second or a third. Again, it's kind of got everything. It's a little bit less resorty than Cancun, which I like it. So it's got a little bit more feel. There's a giant strip called Fifth Avenue or Fifth Street that's incredible. Just fun restaurants, bars. It gets less Americanized the further you go down, a little bit more authentic. Everything you can do there. You can go to the cenotes, you can go to the ruins, you can go on little adventures. So I like that spot. But Tulum, I've got 1A, 1B, 1C. And Tulum is my 1C. But if you've got money, then it's probably 1A.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like the most expensive place now. It wasn't 15 years ago, but it's now like the most expensive place if you want to have an incredible time, which it is insane. I
Why?
mean,
B&Bs in the area, or how would you recommend finding a place
Yeah,
to
so that's
stay?
the negative about Tulum is there's lot of great hotels on like the main strip, but also there's only one road which they're trying to work on, but the infrastructure is awful because it went from being this small, quaint little spot to now it's just Cancun-ish but trendy, like a little Bali, if you will.
Mm,
But it takes you forever to get anywhere because there's one road now, and it was, a small, tiny town 20 years ago, and now it's just millions of people are going there. So there's hotels on the main strip is where I'd say you'd stay. There are Airbnbs, but they're all about 15 minutes with no traffic, but there's always traffic, especially if you like to get home or to go out. If you're going out for dinner, it'll take you an hour to get from your Airbnb to the bars, to the restaurants and stuff. So you can get an Airbnb. I've done it. Just I'd say stay in the hotels on the beach, so you can just walk everywhere. It's a lot easier. But
huh.
there's incredible restaurants, incredible bars and nightclubs, but it's the same price as the US pretty much. I mean, I I took my parents out for dinner and it was like $500. Now we went I wanted to show them something cool they've never seen before.
Mhm.
And it was a really nice place, but still like you don't think Mexico $500 for drinks and food and stuff. So,
Yeah, that's a little out of
yeah.
that's definitely not what people perceive when going down there.
No,
Thinking
but the water's cool.
bang
There's lots of excursions.
a lot of bang for their buck.
Yeah, it's really like Bali, North America. There's a really cool art, and crazy beach parties. There's really everything. But I would say it was a 10 out of 10 when I went there like 15 years ago. Now it's like this. There's cenotes in your town where I'd be the only one there. Now there's literally 200 people and you can't move. Because yeah, I used to love going. There was cenotes were wide open. You had like these giant swimming holes all to yourselves, these caves. Now it's absolutely insane.
Hmm.
Have you never been?
Not there.
Where
Um,
did you go? Where was your favorite spots?
well, I guess Cancun is the only I
Yeah.
just stayed at resorts around there.
Yeah.
Um,
Cancun is cool.
and yeah, and it's a great spring break spot, and we stayed at a resort and it was all inclusive.
Hmm.
I also went there another time, but I can't really remember where I stayed. Um, I enjoy Mexico quite a bit. Just it's been good to me. We the one other time I went fishing down there, and I had a
Hmm.
great time fishing on the salt flats and getting up in the mangroves and actually like fishing, trying to find some tarpon and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
Hmm. We should go to. I'm going to Sayulita this weekend, but we should go to Huatulco or Puerto Escondido or somewhere soon. We're doing Colombia, and then we're going to Mexico somewhere. Write that
Okay,
down. I would love to take you to one of these smaller spots and like go dive into these little tiny restaurants I know you'll love.
I know. I gotta find the time to actually like get off
Well, we
and
don't have to do it this month. We can do it months down the road.
we'll have to.
Yeah. So
But
my one B is called Isla Holbox. It's pronounced Holbox, I guess, but I just hate to sound pretentious, so I'll just say how it looks, Holbox, and it is an hour and a half north of Cancun. Is where you catch a water ferry, and then you take the ferry across for another 45 minutes or so to just kind of like Tulum, but 20 years ago. So the beaches, this is where some of the nicest beaches I've seen in Mexico, untouched. There's no cars on the island. So you just walk everywhere, bike everywhere. It's very just a place I know is good is there's no Americans. So I think like everyone was European, some Canadians here and there, but like mostly European. And it wasn't found out yet. So we're exposing it a little bit, but it's cheap, incredible food. I just loved it. So that should be a next trip. It's just a little bit harder. It's easy to get to. I mean, you take a cab an hour and a half from the airport, hour from the airport,
so
and
you would say
then
that's your most bang for your buck, that area right there.
the next one I'm giving is probably the best bang for your buck, but that one would be second. Yes,
Yeah.
that's like my reason to go to Mexico is go to Isla Holbox and the next place, or like I said, I've always wanted to go to Puerto Escondido or Huatulco because it's kind of what Tulum was 15, 20 years ago. I keep using that expression, but example, but that's what I love. The authenticity, the culture, I don't want, you know, resorts and pot and giant chain restaurants. Um, so where you should be coming this weekend is my 1A, Holbox 1B, Tulum 1C. Sayulita is only like 40 minutes north of Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
And I'm not a huge fan of Puerto Vallarta, but Sayulita is just like this quaint little beach town in like a bay. And it's got everything that you could want. The beach is meh, but you can actually go for a cool little hike and find your own private beach that's got gorgeous white sand, turtle nesting,
It's not
beautiful water.
centralized. Like it's not.
Yeah, and you can go hikes through the jungle. There's a cool town called San Pancho that's another just like 10 minutes up the road, 15 minutes up the road. That's very just kind of locals for the most part. Um, but it's got everything you could ever want. My favorite place to eat, maybe on earth, is Mary's. This little spot,
That's a
best
big.
Mexican food.
That's a
Yeah,
big statement, Fraser. And you love to eat.
we went and we got a chicken thing, a pork thing, and a steak thing, and every single thing was like incredible. Like the best. I think I left it off our top places we've eaten podcast, but I would say in North America, that was my favorite restaurant I've ever had, and maybe one of my favorite restaurants ever. So that's the first thing I'm doing this Friday. I'm going right to Mary's, and I'm fucking up some quesadillas
Sounds
and
kind of just
steak.
cook.
Oh my god! And it's like you eat on the street, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like you're in Italy. So they just set up like little wood tables on the street as cars drive by. And then I went into the kitchen and it's just like only like four grandmas just chopping away.
They let you in there?
Well,
Did
it's
you?
just open. It's like an open concept kitchen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, which makes it even cool. It's nothing spectacular. It's a hole in the wall on the main strip, and oh my god, the best food I ever had.
Did you just stumble upon it one day?
Someone told me to go, and then I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And yeah, it
How
is.
away for the food? Was it a good service?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. It was literally just like a side of the road type thing where they're just like, "What do you want?" Bang bang, got it in 20 minutes, whatever it was. It was just very non presumptuous. There's a word I'm looking for, but it was very just casual, authentic, no frills.
I love usually the most fantastic food of your life is no reservations always.
Yeah, absolutely. Cash only.
Yep.
Those are the spots. Yeah, and then also in Sayulita, it's got incredible surf breaks, and it's got surf breaks for beginners or people who are better. So if you love surfing or even just wanted to try, you can do that there. Um, yeah, and there's some good like rooftop bars. You can go obviously on fishing trips. You can go to some islands on some booze cruises, ATVs if you want. So yeah, and also you land in the airport, and it's only 40 minutes away.
Hmm.
So it's yeah,
Think.
it's affordable. It's everything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
I'm
those
kind of.
are
I'm thinking Puerto's probably where I'm going to head first on my next arrival to Mexico. I don't know.
where.
Puerto just sounds like the most bang for my buck.
Yeah, well, Sayulita. Yeah, we're going to
Salita.
Sayulita.
I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
not Salita, but actually Puerto, just because I kind of could actually do me personally. But Salita would probably be second, actually. I'll tell
Well, we
you
can
what.
do all the stuff that you want to do in Puerto Vallarta in from Sayulita. We can go fishing. We can party. Whatever you want to do, we can do there.
I just like the more people, though. I like a little
There's
more
tons of people.
in
Wait till you see.
Salita.
Yeah, Sayulita. There is a ton of people. Wait till you see my stories. You're gonna be so jealous. You're gonna be like, oh, I should have came.
I, I like it just a little. The nightlife, you would say, is better.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's just not. It's like instead of like it. This is a poor example, but it's not um Scottsdale Old Town nightlife or Vegas nightlife. It's more like in Austin it has like the Sixth Street. So it's not dirty Sixth Street.
Yeah.
It's like what's that nicer spot that's like it's a little bit more chill but still awesome. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the new area.
Um,
Newish. All
I don't
right,
really.
you know what? So
down there.
instead of it being like Broadway,
I'll be down there June 10th. I'll be
okay,
down.
so instead of Broadway in Nashville, it's like Demumbrian or
Like Tin Roof, where Tin Roof is, and all those.
yeah, and what's it like kind of that other stretch of bars. So it's not Broadway, but it's still awesome and it's still got a ton of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, trust me, you'll just have to trust me about it. It's
I
beautiful.
will. I mean, but I just need you to guide me, you Sherpa,
Yeah,
you.
I'll be your Sherpa. I'll be your sweet little Sherpa.
Yeah, I need it. But I want to
Yeah,
eat at Mary's. I do want to eat at Mary's. I
like
could make, yeah, like, how easy is it to go to both? How far away are these both these locations? I need to look. I'm looking at
they're
a Mexico now. Let's
they're
see.
only it's a 2.5 hour flight from Phoenix. So
Yeah, that's not
yeah,
bad. But
no,
I'm looking at. Hmm,
yeah,
I'm looking down here. I'm trying to find. Where can I find the sweet little town of Salita?
Sayulita, Sayulita.
Yeah. Where can I find it? Is it if I'm looking at Oaxaca? Where am I? Is it south,
North,
north? Oh,
much more
baby.
north. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. If I'm looking at Tamaulipas,
I have
that's
no idea where that is.
oh, it's north, baby. That's not too north.
Just look, just Google Puerto Vallarta or Sayulita, and you'll find it.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Yeah.
I just want to look to see if I can make a weekend out of both of them.
Yes.
Like go
Well,
to
maybe not
one,
both of them.
go to the
You just go
other.
to one, and that's it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I always love when you can tackle a lot of different places over the course of a weekend.
I
Is
don't
it-
know. There's so much stuff to
you
do
have-
just in Sayulita. You don't need to add more. It's not
okay, if you had 2 weeks, I'll give you that 2 weeks, and you had
okay.
to pick these locations to like a little road trip, but technically,
Yeah.
in the safest way possible. Safest
I
way
f-
possible.
I forgot one which isn't a beach vacation, but Mexico City. We already talked about this on a
Yes,
different
you did.
podcast.
Love Mexico City, you say.
So Mexico
Yeah.
City. So if I had 2 weeks, I would start at a beach. I would go to Mexico City, and then I would end at a beach. So I would go Sayulita or Isla Halbox, Mexico City for 4 or 5 days, and then end at Puerto Escondido or Oaxaca, somewhere in there. That's what I would do. I wouldn't go
Yeah.
to Puerto Vallarta. No.
Have you been, or do you know anyone who's been on a tequila tour?
Well, yeah, that's they offer them like candy in any place in Mexico.
No, I mean like an actual
Oh,
like
like
urban trail, for example, in the United
oh
States.
yeah,
Like,
no, I know Calais. He like bought into a tequila company, so they took him out there and they went to like their distillery, but not a full tour.
I would love to go down
They
there.
should. I think it just might be sketchy. Like they're yeah, not enough are near each other, but I think like a yeah like a Napa Valley of tequila would be incredible. I concur.
Yeah, there's
I
gotta
taught
be. That's actually a great thing to type in the old Google. What is the Napa Valley of tequila?
yeah.
Let's
I just
find.
don't think it exists.
Oh, I bet it
And
does.
it's not as romantic. I think we should create it. Like let's get some marketing stuff in
Well, we
gear.
got Drew Jordan. He's got the
Yeah.
Cinco and the Rock, and then Casamigos. They all got the.
Yeah.
Those some stars, baby. You got to go through some.
Yeah. And then I met a guy who does pineapple.
You got to be like Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
Again, let's see.
I met a guy in Costa Rica. He's got like a pineapple plantation and there's like this pineapple highway. And I was saying they need to make like a Napa Valley of pineapples, but it's like a bar and you just have all these pineapple drinks and cocktails and like pineapple heaven. I forget I gave it a cool name. Pineapple paradise. Yeah. But
Hmm.
we could do that with tequila. But yeah.
All right, I'm finding out some. There's the actual town of Tequila in
Hmm.
Mexico that I found an article from the Huffington Post that says Tequila is the new Napa Valley, or at least it's on the way there.
Okay.
Interesting, and it's also because of the wines. The wines are interesting
Interesting.
as well. But fantastic article here by it's always a hard name. Hugh McIntyre. I think I nailed
Like
it.
that's a guy's name?
Yeah, the contributor.
Hugh McIntyre?
Hugh McIntyre, McIntyre. McYR.
McIntyre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great.
But that was 2016. I wonder how the town has grown.
Mm,
Interesting.
mm,
COVID hit a lot of people hard. I will say
yeah.
that. Mexico bounced back, would you say, since the last, like, we're
Yeah.
pre-COVID to now COVID?
Absolutely. No, everything's good.
You think everything's good down there? You think it's just
Yeah.
peachy keen? Good deal.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
I feel like it didn't hit in Mexico as bad as like I feel like Mexico just didn't care because they knew it was borderline a lot of CNN news, if you will, as some say.
Mhm.
So like where the U.S. was shut down, especially in liberal states, Mexico's like we're doing okay, and we haven't really shut down too much. So yeah,
Mhm. Well,
yeah,
they seem to be, rocking it hard this summer with, they seem to not be slowing down this summer when
yeah,
it comes to tourism.
yeah,
But, I
absolutely.
will say a volcano is erupting right now, and I wonder how that will be affecting tourism, though. So,
Where?
a massive one,
I didn't even know there
uh
were volcanoes in Mexico
a massive
near
volcano.
Mexico City.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
displaced millions of people. Um, it's a big issue. But
Yeah.
I'm wondering how it'll affect, and also just, generally, the United States, we get a lot of our, supplies down there, and especially products, and,
It's
a lot of our
incredible.
food supply derives from Mexico, so,
Oh,
that volcano will definitely have some ill effects to that all of that, and also Godspeed with the people around
yeah.
there. Just, uh, unbelievable. My
Well,
heart goes out to them.
it looks like where oh, Sayulita is kind of. I wonder if they'll. It's not that close, but another place before we go. I mean, we wasted with some mumbling, but Acapulco's kind of back on the map. It was gone for a long time because it was pretty. A lot of bad stuff was going on there, but I've
I
had
heard
some
a
friends who've
lot about
gone.
it. Well, yeah, I was about
Yeah,
to ask you. That was one place that was in question that I wanted to
yeah,
ask you about. And
yeah.
how where did they stay? Do you know where they stayed when they went down? Or
Just somewhere in town.
yeah, we'll follow up on that. But
Yeah,
yeah, they are no, were they bad? They didn't stay at a hotel or a resort. They
they stayed
just
at a resort. Yeah,
was
so it's
yeah.
safe there.
Well, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
They have at least control over that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. I don't
I
know how much in the area around, but
I've heard some stories of like bodies being dropped outside of.
yeah, I know it was bad there like 10 years ago, but I think it's finally starting to bounce back a little bit. But I'm still not going to go.
That's Hey, that's great to hear. That's
Yeah.
great to hear.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
All right. All right.
there is, but yeah, there's 3 continents right now that have active volcanoes: Italy, Mexico, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So,
I don't think any of those are continents, but
not
yeah.
well, no, all on different continents, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
One in Africa, one in Europe, and then, one in South
North America. It's North America.
North America. Yeah, North America, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
NAFTA. Forgot
No
about
one
NAFTA.
said you're a geologist. You're not a studier of rocks.
Yeah, I'm not a studier of maps.
Or, all right. Well,
Next.
thanks, Jackson. We'll have yourself a great memorial if we don't do another one of these soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love you, buddy.
Yeah,
See you.
thank you, man. See you soon.
Happy. Yeah, yeah, but we'll talk about that.